everybody, it's Kate back again with another tutorial. In my past couple of videos, I've been showing you some easy techniques and tools you can use to start crocheting bigger projects in the future, and today we are going to start our first project. So I'm so excited to teach everyone how to make these little NICU beanies. So these are lightweight, they have a cute little frill on the end that can make a baby feel a little more colorful in an otherwise very sterile environment at the hospital. So these are great for parents to connect with their child a little bit more. And they're super easy to make, so let's get into it. Alright, so I'm starting off with my trusty 5mm hook and some acrylic yarn, medium weight, just to make sure everything is safe and breathable for babies. Now I'm using a reference with the hat that I just made, which is about 12 inches around. So the circumference is pretty big, and it's 4.5 inches tall. Now the hat that I make will be smaller than this. This is more for a smaller preemie. So I'm going to start with a magic circle, and if you need help, there are tutorials on my channel. Just scroll a little downward, and you'll see a magic loop tutorial. So I just stick my hook in the X that I make around my fingers, wrap my hook around, and pull through a loop. And that is the magic circle. From the magic circle, we'll be working in some stitches, so I pull my tail out the back just to keep it out of the way, and we're going to be starting with 8 half double crochets. So I am just putting 8 half double crochets all the way around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there's 8 stitches in the magic loop, and I'm pulling them around and getting the tail out just so that it's easier to work into this circle later. And if you need help with half double crochet stitches, again, look at my channel and I have a tutorial for you. So now I'm grabbing my stitch marker and I'm putting it in the last stitch I did, just so that I can keep count of how many I'm doing and what I have left. This will help you when you get bigger and bigger with your projects. So now that I have those 8, I'm going to start putting in increases into each stitch. So you should have 16 at the end of this round. So now into those 8, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets into each stitch. So there I go, putting it in the first stitch. I'm going to wrap around, do a normal half double crochet, and then do another one into the same stitch. And you'll do these all the way around, so an increase in every stitch. And I will meet you at the end of all of these increases. Alright, now that we have done all of our stitches, I'm going to pull that tail close just so that it's a very closed circle. And if you can see, we have 16 stitches, so let me get some yarn just to make sure I have enough to work with in the next round. And let's count just to make sure. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So those are all of the stitches we need for that round. I'm going to get my stitch marker and pull it around to the back, just to make sure I'm counting that round. Alright, so for our next round, we are going to be doing an increase and then a half double crochet. So that'll be 2 half double crochets into the first stitch and then 1 into the next. So there's 1 and 2 into that first stitch and then just 1 into the next. Let's do it again. We'll have 1 and 2 half double crochets in that stitch and 1 into the next. So I will meet you at the end of this round. Alright, so we've done an increase and a half double crochet over and over, and now we should have 24 stitches. So I'm finishing up the round. It's looking a little larger. Let me just count all the way around after counting every single stitch, just to make sure I always count, because I always make a mistake somewhere in there. But yep, that's looking like 24. So now we can continue on to the next round. So as you can see, those big stitches in the middle, those aren't holes or anything. It's just where the stitches were a little looser. So I'm putting my stitch marker in the back, and we're going to keep going. Now we're going to do an increase and then 2 half double crochets. So there's 2 half double crochets into this stitch, that's the increase. And then we're going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch afterwards. So 1 in the next stitch and 1 in the stitch after that. So that's your first little repetition. Let's do it again. You have an increase, 1 and 2. There you go, just getting that hair out of there. And then after that, you'll just do your 2 half double crochets. So we've done the increase, and make sure you are not skipping stitches because that can be bad. And then I'll meet you at the end after doing an increase and then 2 half double crochets. Alright, so we should have 32 stitches now, and that is as far as we're going to go outwards for our beanie, so that's our circumference. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. It's flat. Make sure it's not like bubbling up or anything. And so now I'm just going to get that stitch marker to the back, and we are going to start on our downwards pattern. So just to get this hat some shape around the head, removing that hair, I'm just going to go a half double crochet in every stitch around. So just 1 half double crochet, pretty simple, all the way around. Alright, so that was row 5, just to keep track for you. And we have done a half double crochet all the way around. I'm going to put my stitch marker to the back, and now we are going to do these half double crochets all the way around until we get to round 11. So from 5 through 11, do a half double crochet all the way around. So I'm just going to get started on those, and I will meet you when the hat has a little more shape at row 11. Alright, so look what we've got now. This is starting to look like a real hat. So I've made all my stitches down to row 11, pretty simple half double crochets. And for this last round, we're going to do the frill part. So for the frill part, I am going to do a single crochet into the first stitch, and then a half double crochet into that same stitch, and then another half double crochet, and then finally 1 single crochet into that stitch. And that is the repetition. So I will slip stitch into the next stitch, and you're going to be doing that all the way around. So I'm going to do my single crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And you are going to do that all the way around until you get to the very end. So I will meet you there. Alright, so for the last part, I'm just going to finish up this one and take my stitch marker out and just put a little slip stitch just to connect the two. And once I get it right, the placement will be right in between those 2 stitches. There you go, just like that. Now I can finish off my hat, and there you go, it looks like a little sunflower. I love it. I think every baby would look adorable in this hat. So now I'm going to grab my scissors and just cut the final thread and weave in the ends. And I'm going to cut, leaving a lot of room just to make sure I can sew it in without any trouble. So I'll pull it through, and now I can get my needle. And here I am flipping the hat inside out, just so that when you sew in the thread, if there's any chance of seeing it, it will be on the inside of the hat. There's my little darning needle, and I'm going to thread it through and just sew in those ends. So I will meet you at the end of that. Alright, cutting that final thread. There were 2 threads to sew in, and that is the finished hat. Isn't it cute? And on top of making all the babies look super cute, it is going to be warm and breathable. So thank you for coming along and enjoy your hat.